ministry is best translated as the word service. Ministry is service. And everybody does some kind of, any Christian does ministry according to the terminology of the Scripture. And this has something to say to us about leadership. In Matthew 23:11, Jesus says, "The greatest among you will be your servant." It's in the context there. Jesus is talking about the Pharisees, the religious leaders of his day. And, of course, he didn't get along well with those people, or they didn't really see eye to eye with Jesus. And he was breaking down their institutional drift, much like the church has drifted today. But he talked about, as ministers, as people who serve, as leaders, talking about the disciples, the future apostles, he was saying, you don't lord it over people. You're not going around, forcing people to do things like the Pharisees do with all their rules and regulations. But as for you, if you want to be a great leader, you're to be a servant of others. So the servant leadership is a key element of the approach that God uses, which is a little bit different than the top-down kind of power mentality that a lot of people put to leadership in our secularized world. And so instead of top-down force, rule, regulations, it's more of a grace approach, which is really important because in the final analysis, what we observe in churches is that the law, the rules, don't motivate people near as strongly and as well as grace. Grace motivates people. When people experience the love of God and experience the acceptance of God, they're much more strongly motivated or influenced in the sense of leadership than by a bunch of rules and regulations, because it's an influence of the heart, not just of the will or the law. And so grace motivates more than regulation. That has a lot of implications for the way we do church.